Alright, welcome back to the channel. So we're going to be talking about collab characters and their possible return. So if you guys remember, at the beginning of the month, they put out dev notes, right? The Netmarble team did release their dev notes, and they said that they're going to try and improve, update features, existing content, etc., etc. And in this was the possibility of collab characters coming back. However, the problem with this is that there are IP holders, so we might have to wait a while until all the IPs are addressed, that they could come back, etc., etc. Now I'm pretty sure, I'm actually fairly certain that King of Fighters might be the first to return, since their IP is Netmarble. Their IP is literally Netmarble. Netmarble does own some of the rights to KOF, but it is SNK, so I don't want to get into all that, but there is a possibility that the collab characters could return, and out of all of them, I figure KOF is probably going to be the easiest so that they can return, but that's really good, and I hope that all of them can return, because I know a lot of people don't have these units. They either started when, the collab was ending, after the collab, or they started with the collabs and they just didn't have gems to get characters for whatever banner you may have skipped, or just didn't have enough gems to summon for, right? So hopefully they come back and we can get them. Now, this is good for many reasons, because the collab characters are very exclusive, right? Obviously, they've only ever shown up one time. So we'll start off with, I guess, Kyo. Kyo's good, right? Kyo's very good. He is sort of making a renaissance, I would say. A lot more people have been using this character, and he's just good. He's aged very well. The only time I would say he hasn't aged well was with Goddess Elizabeth and the one Escanor, but that was because those units are blue units, right? So because they're blue units, they obviously had an advantage. Goddess Elizabeth had a shield, she had stun, revive. Escanor was just DPS. So unfortunately, my boy Kyo he could not stand up to them. But with Bond and the meta being all over the place, he actually is sort of making a return. So I am really enjoying using Kyo. So hopefully when they decide to release these collab units, KOF is the first return, because I know a lot of people would want Kyo, right? He's just very good. He stacks ignites every turn that you are playing, right? So very good. Reduces damage for every ignite. He has cold destruction. So both of his cards, by the way, right? Because this has Blaze and this has cold destruction. Both of his cards mesh very well with his passive, very well, because cold destruction does more damage depending on how many debuffs the enemy has on them, and then Blaze does more damage depending on how many ignites that the enemy has on them. So it's very good. AoE Blaze attack and single target cold destruction. So just all in all, very good kit, and his ultimate is very strong. Single target attack, but applies 2 extra ignite effects on all enemies for 3 turns. So it's just very good. Kyo is just a very powerful unit overall in the game. So hopefully when the collab characters come back, they do release him first. Another strong character is Amelia. So Amelia is very toxic, right? But she's very strong. She has freeze on her skill 1. She also has dissolve on her skill 2. So right then and there, she has a lot of utility, right? So she's very strong. Her ultimate has secret technique. And if you guys play with Lost Vein, you guys already know how strong secret technique damage is on an ultimate. You guys already know how powerful that is. And then she also freezes on her passive and cleanses debuffs. So if she gets hit 2 or more times during the same turn, she'll freeze the enemy that hit her 2 times, which is very nice. And then she just cleanses all debuffs. So this passive actually screwed me over more times than I can count, because yeah, I'll hit her 2 times knowing that she freezes, but I don't remember that she cleanses debuffs. So sometimes I just don't remember that extra effect of her passive, and it just screws me over. So I'm like, god damn it, right? So she's very toxic, but she has a lot of utility. She really does. So hopefully she comes back to rather sooner than later. Another unit is 11. 11 I think is very strong, because not a lot of people talk about her anymore, but she's very strong, I would say, because of her Power Strike card, her AoE. We originally thought that this was going to be like garbage, but you can see that it's not terrible. The less units on the field, the better, right? Or I guess I should say the less enemies on the field, the better. Because once you go up to rank 2 and 3, it's -8 and then -12, which is, I believe, a 36 damage reduction on her skill, which is kind of bad, but it still does a lot of damage because her stats are very good. If you have her and you worked on her, you guys know how good her stats are. She isn't really needed to be 6 out of 6. Obviously, it helps, but she really isn't. It's very nice that she has, you know, very good skills, and she doesn't have to be 6 out of 6 for her to work. So it's just very good. So hopefully she does come back as well. Stranger Things might be the hardest out of them all because it's a Netflix, you know, collab, and the reason why they did it was to promote Stranger Things, right? The newer season of Stranger Things. So I don't know how it's going to work with getting Stranger Things in their IP because, like I said, Netflix does own the rights to Stranger Things, but Seven Deadly Sins also is a Netflix original as well. So we could see, you know, Stranger Things return maybe a little bit later on in the year if the collab banners do return, right? Maybe later on in the year or possibly next year. But regardless, hopefully they do bring her back because I know a lot of people might not have her. So hopefully they do bring her back. And her passive strong as well. She basically gets a 40% increase to her damage. Very nice. But she decreases her HP by 10%. But she'll life steal because she has pretty damn good life steal. So it's pretty good, right? It evens out. Ram is another character that's pretty good. Very good, actually. One of the best free-to-play units in the game. Stunning, Rupture, decreases attack-related stats, increases unknown race allies basic stats by 20%. So she's good. She's very, very good. I think they did her justice being a free unit. I mean, if you don't have her, you probably started after the collab ended because she was free. So if you don't have her, you most likely started after the collab, or you just didn't do the missions to get her for free. Either or, right? But she's good. She's very good. Stunning, like I said, rupture damage, decreasing attack-related stats by 30% on her ultimate. Very strong. She makes the unknown team just far and away one of the best teams in the game just because of her passive on the sub slot. So she's very good. Again, she's going to be with the Raid Zero collab. So if they bring back that banner, it'd be very, very good for players, right? Very, very good. Jim as well. Jim is also one of the best free-to-play characters that we've ever got for collab characters. Not only that, he's just very good. Obviously, you can see, like, you know, the unit rating. It's not like everywhere is like 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, right? But it's very balanced, right? It's very, very balanced. He depletes all orbs. He stuns. He has weak point on his ultimate. And then this is really, really what makes him really good. So at the beginning of the ally's turn, he applies a debuff of direct hit on 2 enemies randomly, by the way, for 1 turn. And then enemies with direct hit take 40% more damage and become poisoned. So you can do a shit ton of damage and they won't die. But again, they'll be poisoned. So they're going to take 60% of, you know, additional damage at the end of every turn. So it's really good. Like, this passive is very strong. Right? Very, very strong. It just can't be used in deathmatch, which isn't, I guess that's not the worst, but I really, really wish that they didn't do that because I don't really see this being a problem in deathmatch. If anything, it helps players defeat Crimson Demon very, very, like, quickly. So I don't see why they excluded it from deathmatch, but I guess if they wanted it to be, you know, deathmatch to be a little more difficult still, then I guess. But it's like, at this point in time, we really don't care much about the death matches that much as they may think, right? So I don't know. It is what it is, though. But yeah, hopefully they bring back these collab characters, right? I can't really think of another collab. I mean, Rem is good, right? Rem is very good. A very good red unit. She is very good for Crimson Demon, by the way. Like, she's one of the best units to use for Crimson Demon. She just, you know, is a lot less RNG than Derriere because Derriere needs to consistently hit her cards, right? She needs to consistently use her cards. She needs to consistently hit. But Rem doesn't. Rem just needs to move her card, rank it up, or use it. So she's very good. She has Amplify on her first skill. Like I said, she just has to increase the rank, use, or move a skill, and then her attack-related stats increase by 5%. I guess the only thing you could say is if she is maxed out in her ultimate move gauge, she needs to use her ultimate. She literally needs to use her ultimate, but that's not really the worst, honestly. So she's good. She's very good. Again, amplify with the a self-procking passive to make sure that she is always gonna have amplify active. Very good. She has this as well. I mean, this is all right. PvP, this is god tier. This skill right here in PvP is just straight up god tier. PvE, it's okay. Like, it's all right. And then, of course, again, her ultimate, very strong, very, very strong in PvP. But, yeah, I mean, we could get, like, the slime collab, but those characters really aren't the strongest anymore. Like, they're borderline just worthless, to be completely honest with you. More so for collection purposes, that's why people have them. But they don't really do much. I mean, yeah, he has single target rupture. I mean, this stance is but not really all that crazy. Stunning on his ultimate, removes stances and buffs, increases defense related stats by 8%. Yeah, it's just, like, the slime collab characters aren't that great. So, I mean, sure, right? Attack on Titan as well, like, not really the best. Aaron sucks. I mean, Green Aaron is just trash. I don't like this unit at all. He's not good. Mikasa is not good anymore, right? She's more of a waiting game type character. She's just, I spelled her name wrong. She's not good. I mean, you look at her, just like, ugh, her secret technique damage sucks. So yeah, Levi's alright. Levi actually is alright. I think out of all of them, he is the best because he still has some type of relevance in Crimson. Like, if you have him, you can still use in Crimson. He can still be somewhat useful in PvP if you really, really want to use him somewhat. But otherwise, like, they're not that great. So I would say out of all the collab characters, just KOF and like, honestly, KOF and Ray Zero are the only ones that really matter. Like, that's it. So I'm gonna just be completely honest with you. I mean, when they bring them back, we'll see if they'll buff certain characters. I mean, maybe there's a possibility, right? It's not out of the realm of, possibility that they could buff these characters, but we'll see. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video, though. If you did, go ahead and comment, leave a like for the algorithm. You guys already know. As always, I will see you all next time.